morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who we've got turning up today. Technical hitch again as usual. Whenever I bring it up, it's always the opposite way round. Morning, Katie. I got your message this morning. I haven't checked that in. Morning, Heather. Karen. I've got 7 others. I can't say. Oh, I've got 16. So we're all nice and bright and early. I think we're the right way round, are we, today? I don't seem to have got my camera thing right today, but we shall see. Morning, Angelique. She says it's midnight there. Right, evening, Angelique. Morning, Ellen. Morning, Christine. I got your message, Christine. Sorry to hear news about your foot, but lovely that you're tuning in to watch us this morning. So I think we're getting straight. Morning, Joe. Morning, Margaret. So everybody's coming. Morning, Mo. Trouble is the pad is delayed. Heather says yes, I'm the right way around now. Yes. I always have a technical hitch, Heather. I started on one phone because it's got a better camera and it wouldn't tune in. So however I do it, it seems to go wrong. Now let me just tweak this round because it's not very straight. And the trouble is it's delayed from what I'm seeing on my iPad. So I have to wait for a minute for it to catch up. But anyway, we will make a start. Because we've got 26. Morning, Joe. Morning, Jean. So Jean says, great, she's here. Thanks for letting her know. No problem. I like to do a little reminder. Angelique says it's 5:30 in the morning there. My word, that is an early start. So hopefully we're going to be in a bit of better position. So I'm just going to plug a few things in here so we don't lose power halfway through the class, if that's okay. So how are we all? Are we all coping still? That is the main thing. So I think we've got to send some love hearts across the screen because we've got poor Christine in Germany. She's fallen and broken her toe, and I know how that feels because I broke my foot last year and was in a boot and plaster for months and I'm still not right. So we've got poor Angelique, poor Christina. I know we've got Bev watching as well. She's still struggling, getting over COVID-19. So we send her some love hearts. And as many of you know, Wendy as well. She'd had her second lot of chemo and that went a bit pear-shaped as well. So bless poor Wendy. She's a fighter and she's always smiling. So I'm going to send love hearts across the screen as well. So you ladies, you take care of yourselves. So I'm still not getting this straight. Are we a bit better now? So, are we all ready to start? My screen. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Right, I think we're ready to start. So, that was the one we looked at last week. That was page sketch 5, and I did say to you, Kerry's in from Australia. Good morning, Kerry. Heather says that looking fine. Oh, I'm glad you're with me, Heather. Keep me on the straight and narrow. So that was the one we did last week. And I'm going to use the similar colourway. So what we're going to do today, you could turn into a double page layout or not. Choice is yours. Okay. So I'm going to pop that one to one side because I don't need that one at the moment. So this is the one we are going to work on today. Okay, so this was the one we did in class. The thing I forgot to tell you to pop in was your tag punch. That's why I've got it out here on my desk. Because that's what I forgot to tell you to gather if you've got one. Okay, that's the Stampin' Up one. Okay, so I forgot to tell you about that because it slid down the back. So, I think I've got all my supplies now ready. I hope you have too. And for those of you that just want to tune in and have a bit of banter, have a bit of chat, do feel free. Chip in any time you like. I've gone skew whiff again, Heather. What am I doing? Let's try it round that way. You can all see. That's the main thing, isn't it? So we're going to look at page sketch 7. Okay. So I'm going to pop that to one side. So all our measurements are there. So I hope you've been over to the my website and actually downloaded that. Okay. you'll notice when you download, if you go a bit further down, it says comments. Please leave me a comment and tell me what you think about my scrap-alongs. For each page sketch you pick up, as you go down it says comments, just post something. And if you haven't posted on my website before, it's there, but it's just delayed and I then approve it. So don't think I posted it and nothing's come up, because it has done. It just means I've got to approve it. So, I talked about on my supply list that I've got my bit of paper that looks like trees. Well, it is trees in the background. Okay, they're slightly there. But I'm going to run with that as my background. Okay, it's about using what you've got at home and just running with it. So that's what I'm going to use. So I've got my ink, I've got some gems, I've got some flowers. Though I did think about, didn't I did say I was going to sort out my cogs and I haven't. It's just been a bit of a day yesterday. Everything just seemed to go a bit wrong anyway, but we're not thinking about that now, because we're tuning in, we're zoning in, we're going to have a bit of a scrap along live and we're going to have some fun. So, with this layout, if I start from the beginning, with this layout was all about matting and layering. Okay, so it's about matting and layering your actual layers to make them stand out. And by overlapping each one, you get a nice 3D look, but it actually looks flat. Now this again is one of those layouts you could put in a box frame. You know, I talk about putting pictures in box frames so you can hang them on your wall as wall art. This is one of those. If you really wanted to make it 3D with foam pads or your glue gel, it would really stand out and look nice. Okay, so when I talk about box frames, do you all know what box frames are? I think you all must do. So when I'm talking about a box frame, let me pick this one up here. This is my mum. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about a box frame. So these are the frames that are deeper. Okay, you can pick them up from craft stores, homeware stores, but it means you can put stuff that's a bit 3D. When I redecorate my kitchen, I've decided I've got a main wall. I've got organiser picture frames. I'm actually going to have 9 of these as wall art on that wall and keep interchanging the scrapbook layouts, because I just think it's a bit more fun than just having your photographs up there, isn't it? So that's your box frames. Okay, and always look out for deals on them. All right, so we're going to make a start with the matting and layering. Now I said to you, you could use one sheet of cards, and we'll do a little bit of gutting if Julie's listening in. We're going to do a little bit of gutting if you use one sheet. If you've got some card left over from last week, you don't have to do any gutting at all. So choice is yours. So let's get our trimmers ready then. So you're going to need your trimmer. So is that Julie laughing across the screen? That's Heather laughing. Yes, yeah. Poor Julie. When I say we're going to start gutting, she goes, "Oh no." Oh dear, we do have a little chuckle when we go do our classes. And I know here in the UK, many of you may have heard, even from being abroad, that lockdown is being released in stages. Basically, I think we've just still got to stay home and stay safe as much as we possibly can. I don't think there's much change at all, really. And it's about being sensible. So I can't see us getting back to class anytime really soon, put it that way. But we'll plod on. This is what it's all about. So I'm going to look at my sketch. So if I move over, you can see it all in one hit, can't you? That's good. And I'm going to start off with the bottom here. Now these measurements I'm taking as my card borders, okay, not my pattern paper. So when we cut the pattern paper, you're going to cut 1/4 inch less. Okay, so we're going to start down here with 4 inches by 10 inches. I'm doing it all with you as well. So we're going 4 inches by 10 inches. Okay, so that's that bit there at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to go with the next biggest one, which is 6.5 by 8. So this bit should measure 8 inches. So if I just come along to 6.5, which is about there. So that is my 6.5 by 8. Okay, so that's my next biggest one. I then need a 6 by 4. Now this is where, if you've got spare card, you can use it. If you haven't, you could gut that out of this piece of card. Okay, so it's just a thought. So I'm going to hang fire. In fact, I'm going to gut. Okay, so I'm going to take my 6 by 4 piece out of here. So that was 6.5. So I'm going to take my 4. So I'm going to go 1 inch in. And I'm going to cut a square that's 6 by 4 to take my photograph. So that's 1 inch up to 7. So I've gone across 1 inch and I've started at 1 inch to 7 inches. I'm going to go in 1 inch again. Bring my blade up with the line. Okay, and I'm going to go along from 1 inch to 5. That will give me my 4 inches. And do the same again. Well, I need to go over a bit further this time. So that's 4 there. So find my cut line. And down. Now, Julie, have you started another piece of card or are you gutting? That's what I'm intrigued to know. What do you think, Heather? So you can quite easily gut because you're not going to see any of this behind once you add your pattern paper. Now you've all gone quiet, so I presume you're all cutting away, which is brilliant. And just shout at me or message me if you're not keeping up. Okay, so that now is my 6 by 4. So I've got this one. And a little trick you can do with your page mat, because once you printed it off, it's yours. You can print it off as many times as you like. You could put a little tick by these. So I've done that one. I've done that one. I've done that one. Okay. Now I've got to do, this is my other photo, 4 by 3 3/4, and this is 4 by 3.5. So 3.5 and 3 3/4 is, that's going to be 6, 7.5. Yeah, I can do that out of there. That's fine. Okay. Ah, Julie says she's gutting. Julie, congratulations. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you a love heart. That's brilliant. Well done. Because we can do this out of one sheet of card. And while we're crafting along at home, we're going to be crafting along at home, I think, a little bit longer as well. I think we need to try and utilise what we've got. So I'm going to do now, I'm going to do this one here and this one here because they're both 4 inches. So I'm going to do 4 inches. Okay. See, you're getting lots of love hearts. It's buffering. Right, I've got no buffering here, Kerry, so it could be the internet your end. Jean says I'm lost. Right, Jean, let's just recap. Right, hold the front page. Let's start and recap. Right, Jean. So from your sheet of 12 by 12, you're going to cut 4 inches by 10 inches. That's the first one you're going to cut. Okay. Heather says she's not buffering. No, I think it might be the internet your end, Kerry. So it's 4 inches by 10 inches. That's your first piece you're going to cut, and you're going to tick that off. Okay. The next piece you're going to cut, Jean, is the big piece. So as we've cut that off, that is going to be 6.5 by 8 inches. Okay. So Kerry says it is her end. Yeah, it could well be. Yeah. My husband works from home and we've got business internet, so I know it's not here. So oh, Karen, you're buffering too. So Right, so it's only you and Kerry that are buffering, so it could be your connection, your end. Right, so Jean, so we've got 6.5 by 8 inches, and then from that big piece, which is there, which I've ticked off, I've then gutted out my 6x4 piece, Jean. Okay, so that is all in there. Are you with me? Okay. Right, so that's those 3 bits. That's 1, 2, 3. Jean, give me a thumbs up if you're with us now. Or are you cutting? I'm just going to wait because I want you all to join in together. Had I sorted out my pattern papers? Oh, I've got some there. I've got my pad ready. Yeah, we've got thumbs up. Right. So we've got that piece done, that piece done, and that piece done. And I've ticked them off as I've done them. We're now going to look at these two, because this is 4 inches. So what I've done is I've cut the piece I've got spare to 4 inches across. So that's 4 inches across there, and I've cut that. And then I'm going to turn it, and this one's 4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So Dawn says hers is okay, Kerry, and I think Dawn's in the same country as you, isn't it? And New Zealand's not buffering either, so I think it must be your connection you're in. So this is 4 inches by 4 3/4. I'm going to tick that off, and I'm going to write on the back of there photo, because that's a photo mat. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one, which is 4 inches by 3 1/2. Okay, so that's that piece. Oh, Margaret had to go to the phone. Right, okay. So how far did you get, Margaret? Have you started cutting your cards? Right, and that's not big enough for that and that, so I've got to do a bit of gutting. So have we all got to that stage and cut these up? So you should have all these pieces. So I've just got this little one here to do, which guess what, Julie? We're going to gut, because I haven't got enough scraps here. To do that, I haven't got a 2 1/2, I've only got a 2. Okay, so I'm showing you how you can cut it out from one sheet of cards. Alright, shall I find another sheet of card and do it again for you? Would you like that? Give me a thumbs up if you'd like that idea. Because I think some of you have got a bit lost. Do you want me to cut the cardstock again? Yeah? Right, let me find a scrap of paper. You're all laughing. Right, thumbs up. Right, let me find a scrap of paper. Right, I've got a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper here. So let me start with you again. So this is your 12 by 12, pretend this is your 12 by 12 cardstock, right? So I'm starting at the bottom, 4 by 10. So I'm going 4 inches along. I'm going to cut that up, turn that, and cut that at 10 inches. Okay, so that's your 4 by 10 piece. So that's this piece down here, so you can give this a tick. The next piece I'm going to do is 6.5 by 8. Now, this now is 8 inches. Okay, so bear with me. This is now 8 inches. So if I then do a quarter turn and cut at 6.5, that's my 6.5 by 8. Everything's fine this end, Joe, so it might be your internet. Let me check my camera. My camera's on mobile data as well, but it won't need it because we've got business internet. No, it's all working this end. Can you put your mobile data on your phone, Joe? So that is that piece just there. Margaret's okay. Right, so out of this big piece, I'm going to cut this photo mat, which is 6 by 4. So to start with, I'm going to move across to 1 inch. and bring my blade down to 1 inch, push it in, and then I'm going to go up to 7. So that gives me my 6. I'm going to do a 1/4 turn, pop my blade in again, and I'm now going to take that across 4 inches. That will go up to number 5. And I'm now going to 1/4 turn again, find where my line finishes, pop my blade in, which is the line here, and go up to 6 inches, or your 7 inches because I'm 1 inch in. So basically we're gutting out a 6x4 square for your photo. Okay, so out of that big piece I've now cut my photo mat. Okay, so I'm going to tick that one off. This is a bigger piece, so I'm going to cut this now down to 4 inches. So I've got that spare and that spare. I'm going to do a 1/4 turn and do 3 3/4 inches for my other photo mat. So that is that one there. And then I need 3 1/2 by 4. So that's that one there. Now the last piece I need is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. Okay, so Kerry said her internet is terrible tonight. Keep stop starting. Right, yeah, don't worry, Kerry. If you can't keep up with it now, once I finish today's class, I'll be putting it up on YouTube and you'll be able to watch it there straight through. Yeah, or catch up tomorrow or later on when the internet's better. Sometimes the internet is worse at night or when all the kids get on it. So Catherine said it's just like being in class. Good, that's the aim, Catherine. Keep you going. Now I need a 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So we're going to have to do some more gutting if you're using your same piece of one sheet of card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my 2 1/2 by 3 1/2 out of my photo mat piece. Okay, so in fact let me now do it on my card and then that will bring me up to scratch with everybody else. So I need 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to go in 1 inch. In fact, I'm going to start around this way because I need to do 3 1/2. So I've got to go in 1/4 inch. Oh no, no. Let's go in 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go bring my blade down 1 inch. Can you see that? So I've gone over 1/2 inch. Okay, and I brought my blade up 1 inch. I'm going to pop that down and I'm going to go up 3 1/2 inches. So I need to go up to 4 1/2 inches. So I'm going up 3 1/2 inches. I'm going to do a 1/4 turn, bring the end of my line up where my trimmer is, bring my blade in line with it, and I'm now going to go across 2 1/2 inches. So, oh, yeah, so 1, 2, and then a 1/4 turn again, find where your cut point is with your cut point, pop that in, and we need to go 3 1/2, and then a 1/4 turn again and join those together. That looks about right there. And that's how you can cut it all out of one sheet of cards. So that now is that piece done. And I've got them all. So I'm going to move these out of the way because it's going to confuse things, isn't it? So I'm going to move those out of the way. So have we now all cut our cards? And you've got some scraps of card left to do your title. Okay. So let's just see if everybody's got their cards. So I'm going to lay my sheet out while you're giving me a thumbs up that you're ready. So you can see where the card's going. So that's my That's my 4x10. That is my 6.5 by 8. Okay. That's my, that one's going to go on there. That one's going to go behind there. We're getting all thumbs up, so we're all at the same stage. That is fantastic. Now I'm going portrait. I'm going to go landscape this time in my photograph. And that one is going there. So that is what you should all have. Brilliant. Yes, we're all there. Fantastic. Now, if you want to pop a title on, using your same cardstock, and you haven't got any scraps left, just take a minute to gut out one of your squares or a couple of your squares so you've got something to make a title. The other thing I did was to make the tag, made it out of the pattern paper, and I've just put a little piece of my card on the back overlapping. So again, this may be where you want to gut a piece. So I'm just going to gut a little strip out of my long piece. So I've got some extra for my title. I've got these scraps, but just so I've got some extra for my title and my tag. So if you wish to do that, we'll do that before we start cutting our pattern paper. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and I'm just going to gut some bit out of here so I can do my tag and my title. All right, and you do the same now as well. Then we've all done the same thing. I'm going to go in about, I think that'll do it. So I'm just gutting a strip just so I've got enough to die cut some letters, because guess what, I've got a title ready for this one. I'm all organised today, she says. Sort of. The sun's shining. The washing machine's been on this morning. The towels are on the line. Hopefully my husband's put them out on the line while I'm here with you guys. So, I've gutted this piece, which I'm going to put with my spares to do my title and my tag. So you can actually do this out of one sheet of card. So that's going to go with my scraps on this pile. And that's going over there with that pile. Okay. Have we all done our little bit of gutting there? Yeah? Is that yes? No? Yes? No? Are we getting a yes? No? Yes? No? Right. I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start cutting the paper. But as we start cutting the paper, I'm going to get you to glue your paper on as you go along. Okay, so have your glue at the ready. So I've got my glue at the ready. There we go. I've got my 2 photographs. Yeah, we're all ready. Great. So Carla says she's getting her 10,000 steps in while watching me. Are you walking and doing it, or are you going around the room? Great way to do it. Join in with the chat and have some fun, and then you can scrapbook it after. So first thing I'm going to do is to find my 2 photo mats. I wrote photo on one, didn't I? So I've got my 2 photo mats. So your photo mat for your little one, so your photo mat is 4 inches by 3 3/4. So just check you got the right square. Okay, so that's 4 inches by 3 3/4. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your photograph down to 3 3/4 by 3 1/2, which I've already done. So cut your little photo down to size, and then you can get that glued on your mat. Carla says she's walking outside. Oh, right, so you're watching me on the internet as you're walking. Well, that's a new one on me, Carla. I think that's fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Talk about multitasking. See, us crafters, we can do anything, can't we? So, I'm going to stick my small photograph on there. So that is all ready. Okay, so that's that one. Because actually, once you've done this bit of cutting with the card, it all tends to come together quite quickly. But We could have just used 2 sheets of card and made life easier, but I'm trying to get you to see that you don't have to waste cardstock when you're doing some of these layouts. Okay, I could get you even to gut the back of this, but I'm not going to today. So that's my first photograph. Now I need to find my 6x4 photo mat, and if you remember, I gutted a piece out of that. So this is my one that measures 4 inches by 6 inches, and I've got my photograph, so I've trimmed my photograph down to, she says, let me check, so that should be 5 3/4. Might need to just take a little tad off that. 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then we can glue that onto there. My gutting doesn't look very straight on there, does it? I might have to take a little piece off. Yeah, I might just take a little slither off there, and then that can be glued down. Okay, so that is my photograph. So this is what I was saying to you. Do you remember I said to you in the plan you've got a portrait, but this layout also works with a landscape, and that's why I wanted to use a landscape today, just to show you that you can use a landscape picture as well. Because this is the thing, we look through our pictures and we think those photos will be perfect for that layout, and then the photos don't fit because they're the wrong way round. So let's pop that on there. So that's my 2 photos stuck on. Have we all stuck our photos on? Give me a thumbs up if you're at that stage. So we're all together. Are we all at that stage? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Wriggly jiggly it all about. Yeah, we're getting thumbs up. I don't want to go too fast and too far ahead. I'm trying to let you keep up with me. Okay, so that's good. So you're keeping up with me. Right, I'm just sorting out some more papers. Okay, we're all ready with that one, yeah? Right. Now for the next bit. So we've got both our photos done, and I'm dropping paper all over the floor. So the next piece we're going to do is we'll do our 10x4. So if you get your 10x4 piece of cardstock, hope this isn't too messy on here. So what you're going to do is you're going to need pattern paper that is going to be 3 3/4 inches by 9 3/4 inches. So let me see if I can do it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it out of that piece. That's a bit of a pain, isn't it? So I'll find another piece from my pads. Hopefully you've all got your pieces of paper out already. You're not like me. I need to get a bigger piece because I'm not going to have enough for this. Right, so I need a piece that is 3 3/4 inches by 9 3/4 inches. So bring my arm out. And which side should I have? I don't think musical instruments goes with the layout very well at all. So 9 3/4 inches. Now you can ink your edges if you wish. Okay, and then this can then be stuck onto here. So I think I'm just going to pop a little bit of ink around my edges while everyone's sticking theirs ready to go. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're okay. Are we all right for time, ladies? We haven't got to rush off anywhere. I mean, we're all still here at home, I think, aren't we? Keeping safe. I think we're going to be doing this for a few more weeks yet. So it's been quite nice to do. I'm glad you're all enjoying it. Had a lovely message off Christina this morning, which was nice. So now that can be stuck onto there. So I'm going to put a little bead of glue around the edge. Okay. So that can go on. You've all gone very quiet. Is it because you're sticking? I'm hoping so. And keeping up with me. Oh, thank you. And that's very nice. My hubby's bought me a nice cup of coffee. So that is going onto there. Yeah, Dawn says she's got a couple of more weeks out there. Yes, so I'm going to keep going as long as I can, but we'll see what happens. That's all we can do. Right, I'm going to go with the big bit now in the middle. So that was 6.5 by 8. Now let me see if I can use this piece. No, see, I still can't use that piece. And I wanted to use that piece, but I'm going to be a bit of a cheat here. I'm going to be a little bit of a cheat here because, can you see here, the photograph is going to cover that corner. So do you know what? I'm going to use this, and if that bit isn't covered, it's not going to matter because my photograph's going to be on the top, and who is going to know? Nobody's going to know. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go 6.25 by 7.25 by 7 3/4. So 7 3/4 by 6.25. Oh, tidy that corner up. Where's my scissors gone? Losing everything this morning. Who else is being a cheat like me and missing the corner off? Because you can, because it's going to be behind the photograph. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to stick that one on. So this is about being frugal. This is me being a frugal crafter. And the ladies that come to my scrapbook class will know I'm a bit of a frugal crafter. So that can go onto there. So this is really about utilising all those scraps that we've got. So that's my big bit. So let's just see how they're all looking. I'm going to take the photographs out of the way. So I've got these left to do. This is where really you don't want to have the same pattern papers now sticking out. Let's move this arm out of the way. Sticking out with the same thing. So I'm going to have this one down here. And then that one's going to lay over there. And then this photograph is going to be coming over here. Oh, I'm going to drop it down a bit. Yes, this is going to come here. Oh, yes. And then this photograph is going to come up here. And I'm going to have that like that because I won't be able to read the words. I just might have to drop that up a little bit to cover that hole up. That is absolutely coming together nicely. And then the bigger bit is going to come up under here. So I need a different pattern under there, and I need to have a different pattern under here. So I think for this piece, let me go through all my scraps. I had some scraps here ready. So for my little one here, so Catherine's saying what's new. Yes, I am being frugal. So I'm wanting 2.25 by 3.25. So I need something that's a different pattern. That's squared, but I don't want musical instruments. I think I might go with that one. So let's try 3.25. No, that's not going to work. 2.25. Basically, you're going 1/4 inch in on each of those measurements by 3.25, and that's going to be stuck on there. That's a little bit short on there. Is my measurement right? 2.5. That should be 2.5. I've done 2 3/4 on my cardstock. Silly me. That's because I gutted out, didn't I? That's better. So that's going to go on there. So I'm going to ink that and stick that down. I didn't ink that other bit, did I? Never mind. Doesn't matter. So that's going on there. And then I've got the last piece at the top. So that's going to go under there. Get under there, you. That's perfect. So I've got the last piece at the top. So that is going to be 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. So I've got scraps here for this. I think we'll have a bit of newsprint. So I'm going 3 1/4. I've got to make sure my writing's round the right way, haven't I? So it's that way, right. So you're going 1/4 inch in again, so you've got that matte and layer look. So that can be inked. Give me a quick thumbs up if you're keeping up with me, so I know what stage we're all at. I think you're all busy cutting and sticking. I'm hoping so. So yeah, I've got lots of thumbs up. You're all sticking and cutting. That's brilliant. So that's going to go on there. Okay. And that is then going to go behind that one there. So can you see, all of a sudden, once you've done the cardstock, and because we use one sheet of cardstock, we jiggled it all together. Now I've got to get my title on, and I was going to put it down here, so I might bring that across, because I had my bit missing there, remember? I could still do that and then put my title down there if I came right on that border, but I personally think it's better just dropping down a little bit. Right, let's make our tag next. Now if you've got one of these tag punches, absolutely fantastic. So you just need a piece of card, which is 2 inches, if I remember correctly, to go in here. Piece of pattern paper, sorry, piece of pattern paper. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you're going to use your pattern paper and your cardstock. All right. And then if you take one of your scrap pieces, but you only need a little bit, don't waste it, because you're going to need this for your title as well, remember, because I know you've saved it for your title. So I'm just going to go like that. So I've just got a little piece, and I'm going to show you something I'm going to do. She's just behind, Julie's just behind, her grandson's just phoned. This is his birthday. Oh, that's nice, Julie. Yes, you can always catch up. This video will be here on the Facebook page, well, till Facebook take it down. And I'll also be transferring the video of today, which I'm doing now, over on my YouTube as well. So if some of you ladies are new to Scrap Along and you haven't joined in before, you can always go to my YouTube channel and you can see all of them from one. So I'm getting lots of thumbs up. Are we all keeping up? That sounds like that might be about right. So I've cut my tag out of my pattern paper. Then I've just got a little piece of my cardstock. And I'm going to pop that in as well. If you haven't got one of these, don't worry. Personally, if you haven't, where have you been? You need to buy one because they're absolutely fantastic. Something I use a lot. You know, great for putting gift cards on presents and stuff. So I've got a little piece and a big piece. And in fact, I can move my trimmer out of the way now, can't I really? A little piece and a big piece. And I'm going to glue that one behind that one to give the illusion of matte and layer, okay? Because this layout was all about matting and layering. So I'm going to pop some glue on here. And it's, when you're thinking about your tags, sometimes it's quite nice with these tag punches to do something different, isn't it? So I'm going to pop that onto there. Okay, so soon you see you've got that illusion again of everything matting and layering. So that's now ready. I can use that for my journal tag. So that can go behind here as well. So I think we're ready to stick our main pieces onto the background piece now. And you can't see my Christmas trees, can you? Well, I can't see them. See, they're lost now. I've got all that busyness going on. So let me just have a quick sip of coffee and we're going to start sticking down. But you've got to remember to leave a space to slide your tag. So Angelique said she ordered the envelope punch board off last week. The envelope punch board, again, one of those things you keep coming back to. And actually, we've not been using ours for a while. So I think it's something we need to start getting out and using again. Right, I'm going to take all this off and we're going to start sticking down. So I'm going to start with my long piece at the bottom. This was your 10 or 4 inches by 10, and that's the cardstock, remember, not the paper. So that can go down. Okay. So it's all starting to come. And what I'm doing is I'm eyeballing it. So by using wet glue, I can bring it in where I want it. Okay, so that can go down there. Now I'm going to bring the bigger piece in. But remember, we need a space for this tag. So a little bit of a cheats way is if you pop your tag where you're wanting your tag to be. All right, and if you get a piece of double-sided tape, I don't think I've shown any of you scrapbook ladies this little trick. So I'm going to pop that there. And I'm going to pop this on this side. So it just means you're not going to forget, number one, not to put glue everywhere, because I get carried away once I start gluing. But it gives a channel as well for your tag. So I'm going to take off my double-sided tape before I add my wet glue. Okay. So I hope the weather's being kind to you. It's not absolutely raging sunshine here today in Nottinghamshire, but the washing is on the line and the wind is blowing. So that is brilliant news. The kids are both working at the supermarket. But my son is thrilled to bits. As many of you know, my son is a golfer. He's meant to be going off to the States for a scholarship. And he's thrilled to bits because he can get out on the golf course today. So he is absolutely over the moon that he can finally get out and start playing some golf. Now I'm eyeballing this. If I bring in your plan again and have a look, and you're going to, I'm just eyeballing where this is going to go. This is going to go about there. Okay, and that's stuck down. And then I also know I've got my gap up there for my tag. See how amazing is that? But I've stuck this corner down, so I need to get this quickly under here. And because I've used wet glue, we're going to be absolutely fine. So we're going to stick this in quickly. So this is where you've got to work quickly now, ladies. I'm going to push you now. And gentlemen, I don't know whether David's tuning in today or not. So that can go there, and that can come in alignment with that. And I'm going to stick this quickly over here as well, because I put my wet glue on. So, you like that idea about the tag, Julie? Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. And the thing is, the more I find out all these little ideas. You know I like to share them, pass them on. And that's just going to lay behind there. So we've got this nice matting and layering going on. So all I've got left is to stick my photos on. How are we all doing? Are we all at that stage? Are we all at photo stage? I think I'm going to bring that one down there. I might even, yeah, slightly overlap there. I want to put my title. I might have to put my title up here. I was going to put it down here, but I think it might have to go up here. But that doesn't matter. That's fine. So I'm going to stick my photos down. Are we all ready for sticking photos down? Thumbs up. I'm getting thumbs up. So quick sip of coffee. It's all coming together. Beautiful. So one photo down. And again, the nice thing about these layouts is you can adapt them. As you know, on the sketch was for a portrait. This time I'm going to use the landscape rather than the portrait. And this is where you can turn it into what you like. These are a guideline for you. This is a guide for you. And then you can run with it and do what you like. This is the main thing about it. There. We're getting there. I'm really pleased with how this is coming on. Now, has everyone got to that stage and stuck their photos on? Let me know. I'm just going to pop a bit of ink around my corners just to take that little bit of whiteness. Oh, it might bring me trees up too much though. This could all go Pete Tong now, as they say, but it's just tying in the colours. Right, you're all keeping up with me. Now, do you know what you're going to put on for your titles? Because that's going to be the next thing, the title. Okay. So we had our scraps of cards, which you can use. All right, which I'm going to use, and that's why I gutted that little bit out. Now, I know what I'm going to put on here, and I'm carrying on this theme with my son and his 18th birthday. This was about, well over a year ago, because he's 19 now, so it's about time I scrapbooked these pictures, isn't it? And made his album up. So, that looks better, doesn't it? That ties that in nicely. Pleased with that. So, Karen Gipp said she's completed her page and loves it. Karen, you're always working so fast. So, title next. So, I've got my scraps. I'm going to bring my little machine in. Because I'm going to put on here, I'm going to put number 1. Because he's standing on the podium. And he's got his Instagram. So, I'm going to put number 1. So, I'm going to find my letters out my crafty stash. Catherine says she's not having one, it's on a photo. Catherine says she's not having one, it's on a photo. You're not having a title, you're just going to have the photo. Is that what you mean, Catherine? Not quite sure. Let me know. Right, I've got my number 1. And I'm finding my... In fact, I'm wondering whether I went with the smaller letters. I was going to go with these nice big ones that I've got from Stampin' Up. But I'm now wondering, I think that might be too big. I think I need my little letters. Ah, Catherine says yes. Anne says she's done hers and loves it. Anne works really quickly as well. That's fantastic, Anne. Are you enjoying this? You're not back at work yet then, Anne? Or have you got to go back? I didn't know if you'd be back at work today or not. I think this might work better. I think that way, number 1. Do you think that works better? I think so. So I'm going to die cut this out quickly. Karen says she skipped the gutting bit on her page and she's used the reverse of number 6. Ah. Now, Karen is very good at using the reverse of her pages. I might use a hashtag as well. she likes to use the reverse of her pages for extra layouts. And if you're using double-sided, it is perfect for anything like that. So I'm just going to die cut these in my little Gemini Mini, which is absolutely perfect for this, rather than getting my big machine out. Now, on my original, obviously I had butterflies and flowers, but I'm thinking it might not necessarily go with Callum with what he was doing. So I might not put my butterflies and flowers on. I might put a few cogs on. So I've got to find my cog dies. Now that could be interesting, couldn't it? So I think, and I've die cut a hash. So we could have hashtag number 21. Oh, need my pokey tool. Now do remember, please, share your photos, and you need to share your photos because I know a lot of you are still getting in a bit of a muddle. You need to share these layout photos here where you're watching this video, which is the Dawn's Inspirations page. So not my Dawn scrapbooking page, because Dawn's scrapbooking class is a class that I run which is totally separate to this. We use the page sketches, but this class is being run here on Dawn's Inspirations. So please share them here, because then it saves me moving them. Oh, I could do it this way. Hashtag. No, I think it's better that way. I'm going to bring it here. And I'm wondering if I did a little O. I don't like that big O. I might do a little O. Yes, I'm going to do a little O. Excuse me, ladies, I'm faffing. I'm going to pop a little O on here. This is the nice thing about me actually doing it with you, isn't it? I'm in the same boat as you. You're all doing the same at home. You're all thinking, oh, is that right? Is that wrong? And I'm doing exactly the same as you lot. See, we're doing it all together. And I've lost my folder to do my... Okay, who's had my folder to put through my mini? Oh dear. And I've only got one. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Here it is. It's hiding under this. So let me have a 0. Now I'm trying to think if I can remember where my cogs have gone off the top of my head. They're in. I've got so many dies in this craft room you don't want to know. And I'm just wondering. Now, you know I said to you earlier you could put this in a box frame, which would look absolutely beautiful. If you did, I would have 3D'd these or put them on foam pads. That's another great way of doing it. Let me have a look. I think this might look better. That looks better. That looks better. I'm happy with that. And you know what I might even do? I might do a drop shadow. Now, some of you ladies will all know what a drop shadow is, but I do know I have got a few brand new crafters that have joined us on this scrap along journey. So I'll show you what a drop shadow is. So I've got some black card here, and I'm going to re-die cut my letters out, or letters and numbers, whatever you want to call them. And I'll show you how to do a drop shadow. Now, drop shadow can be very good. You can use it in your scrapbooking and your card making because it makes something look 3D, but it's not. So if you're posting cards, and as we know, the Postal Service like to charge a fortune for something that's nice and got some 3D work on it. Well, this way, it means you can make it look 3D when it's not. So, let's bring this out. So that's my hashtag. That's my 1. That's my 0. Catherine says she loves drop shadows. I must say I love drop shadows as well, Catherine. Right, what you need to do, I'm going to use some tacky glue for this. what you're going to do is you're going to pop, let me show you on the big number one. For anybody that hasn't done it before, you're going to drop it, you're going to glue it on top, you're going to drop it slightly down. You can go slightly down, you can go slightly across. The choice is entirely yours, but just make sure you have them all the same. So I'm going to go with the colour card on the top, and actually the black will pick out my son's top. So the colour goes well. You don't have to use black. You can use any colour you wish. So that is one. Can you see how different that looks to that? Just gives it a totally different perspective, doesn't it? So now let's do the same. It can be a little bit fiddly. You might want to use tweezers if you've got them. Okay. But just make sure they're all the same. So you've got your drop shadow bit all the same. Otherwise it does look a bit wrong because it doesn't all match up together. All right. So we're coming to the end. Now who's decided what embellishments they're putting on theirs? Have we got some deciding on embellishments? I'm still trying to think where my cogs dies are. I might have to put my cog dies on afterwards because I'm conscious of the time for everybody. I might have to put my cog dies on and then add my photo of my layout onto right. Christine's asked a good question. What's the difference between tacky and normal? Right. Personally, if you're going to put photos down, mine are all digital copies. That's fine. If you're using old and original, I wouldn't use these glues. I would get yourself a photo glue. Okay. So that's personally what I would do. Your all-purpose is great for anything. Sticking it down. Even really cheap paper, you won't get it to bubble or warp with your Cal-Out all-purpose. And when you use Cal-Out, it's like putting another layer of card on a project. So when I'm making mini books, cards, anything like that, it's like another layer of cardstock. It really dries hard. Your tacky glue, like I've used just now, is really good because it's a quick grab and it's not going to slide about. If I'd used my all-purpose to do my numbers, they'd be sliding all over the place. So that's why personally I prefer to use my tacky. Tacky's a quick grab, so tacky's good if you want a project to get it stuck down as quick as you can and you don't want it moving about like this. So I want my title down and not moving around. Okay. So let's stick this down. So that is basically the difference between those. So they've both got a place in my craft cupboard. Okay. Catherine's not using embellishment. She's keeping it basic. That is absolutely fine, Catherine. At the end of the day, this is your layout. Oh, I've got my O round the wrong way. Do you see what I mean? About getting your shadow round the right way. I am going to put, I think, a few cogs round here afterwards. Okay, because I might have to look for some steering wheel ones. I've got some cog dies. I know I used chipboard on those other layouts, but I don't think it really warrants, if I bring this in, I don't think he really warrants to have some flowers, does he? And butterflies. I don't think it quite goes with his layout. So I won't be putting them on there. So... but you can see this has been done with a sheet of your pattern paper or cardstock for the background. So Karen said she's kept hers plain. She hasn't put any embellishments on either. Well, this is it. This is why they're all going to look so different. See, that I think looks quite nice, as you say. Quite plain in its own right, doesn't it? That does look quite good. And if I bring the one in I did of my daughter and put alongside... you see, you can add the embellishment to make it look quite girly, or you could keep it plain. And actually, I might keep mine plain. I might have a look. I'm going to see what the cogs look like on it, and I might add a few. But actually, you're right. I think it looks quite nice plain. But this is it. This is the beauty of it. Every time you do these layouts with these sketches, they are going to look just so different. I've got enough scrap here. I can do some cogs, but I'll have a look. But I'll put my picture up the same as you. So please take a picture of your finished layout. And remember, when you're taking your picture, and I know I keep saying it, when you're taking your picture, okay, get your camera directly over the top level, okay, and then you get a nice square picture that you can I can crop to put on the album. If you tilt it slightly, you always get loads of background and it doesn't look level. But if you hold it dead over the top, it works really well. I often put my layout on the floor and stand over it. I find that's the easiest way to do it. Chris has said her background's pattern paper, flowers with the corners. Oh, she's fussy cut them. Oh, Chris, I'm looking forward to seeing that layout. But this is it. Every layout is going to be different. So, yes, perhaps I might not put anything on mine. Perhaps I will leave mine plain because it's more masculine. And if I bring in last week's, which was page sketch 5, do you remember? Not 5, 6. Oh, brain's going. If you bring that in, can you see that it can work as a double page because you've got the same colours going on? Okay, so different layout, different format, but by using the same colour scheme, they run nicely in an album. So if you've got the 2 pages together in an album, like I've got him outside where we went for his experience day, and this is when we're inside. So it ties in quite nicely. So, I'm Dawn McPhee from Dawn's Inspirations. I do hope you have enjoyed this morning's class. I have. It's nice for me to switch off from everything. Hubby to bring me a cup of coffee. Enjoy a chat with you guys. Do some crafting and have some fun. So what we've done today was page sketch 7. I look forward to seeing you next week. Same place, same time. So thank you all very much. I'm going to send some love hearts over the screen for you all. So thank you all for joining in. Okay. So it will be page sketch 8 next week. Page sketch 8, something totally different again. Okay. So don't forget, take your pictures, upload them here where this video is at Dawn's Inspirations on Facebook, and I'll put them all in an album. Thank you all. Thank you for your lovely messages and support. I'll keep going as long as I can with this on lockdown till I'm back at work and doing demos and samples and things like that. You've all been very kind and I've loved having the messages from you. It's been an absolute joy, and if I can brighten up your lockdown for a couple of hours or an hour and a half, I'm thrilled that I can do it. So I'll be back Monday at 12 noon for the supply list. And then I'll be back here Wednesday at 10:30 for another scrap along. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed the layout, and I will see you next week. Stay safe and be good. Bye for now.